for a number of years. He had once been able to afford 2 assistants, but now he was down to only 1, and that only because the fellow wanted to learn the business and was willing to work for half pay. Having no family, being a widower with no children, Jabez Wilson's entire life was based around this pawnbroker's business, and sometimes he didn't even leave his shop at home for weeks at a time. What had drawn him out finally was a newspaper advertisement shown to him one day by his assistant. "Ah, yes, Mr. Wilson. Before Watson arrived, you were beginning to tell me about this assistant of yours. Do go on."
Vincent? His name's Vincent Spaulding. Been with me 3 months now, Mr. Holmes. Very clever, very hard-working sort of a fellow. Has proven to be a great help to me. And of course, part of that help is he's willing to work at half what he might earn elsewhere.
Indeed, said Dr. Watson. It seems to me that whatever your story may be, it may not be any more remarkable than finding an intelligent, hard-working young man who will work for half pay.
Well, he ain't so young really, Doctor. 30 or even 35, I'd say.
Indeed.
Yes, very clever, wonderful sort of a fella, although he's got one rather funny habit.
And what is that?
He's crazy for photography,
Said Mr. Wilson.
He's always snapping pictures with that camera of his all day long, and then darting down into the basement to develop the film, sometimes for hours at a time. At any rate, one day he brings me this advertisement, which he's just spotted in the Evening Standard. Here it is, Doctor.
And he handed across a newspaper clipping. Dr. Watson read it.
The Red-Headed League announces an opening. Imagine the Red-Headed League. Position pays £4 weekly for minimum work. Open to any red-headed man over the age of 21 years residing in London. Apply Monday, 10 a.m., 7 Hopes Court, Fleet Street. Most unusual business.
Well, that's what I thought, Doctor. But as you can see, I've got this head of bright red hair.
And he sat up rather proudly.
When Vincent showed me this advertisement, he said he wished he had hair like mine. I said I didn't understand. So he told me all about this red-headed league. He seemed to know something about it.
It seems that there was a certain Ezekiah Hopkins, a red-headed man born in London, who had crossed the ocean to the United States and made a fortune. He was a self-made man who had worked hard for his success, and when he died, it turned out that in his will he had left millions for this red-headed league.
It was just to make things easier for other London men with red hair. Easier than what he'd had himself, you understand.
Very unusual.
Indeed, said Holmes. I've never heard of anything quite like it. Please, continue.
Well, Vincent, he says to me he heard it was an easy way to pick up some money. And if you look at the ad, it's a couple of £100 a year. As you know, business ain't been too good. I could certainly use that. He says, why don't I apply? But I says, Vincent, what makes you think I could get this position? There must be hundreds, even thousands of red-headed men in London. And not like you, he says. Not with real, true red hair like you, Mr. Wilson. But what about my business, I says. And he replies, well, I don't know, but if it's only light work, like the ad says, maybe I can watch your shop for you. So we decide to go.
Monday morning, just before 10 a.m., Jabez Wilson and his assistant reached the address in the advertisement. There were so many red-headed men waiting that the street looked as if it were on fire. But Vincent Spaulding, pushing and butting and mumbling, "Excuse me," somehow